Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my top 5 games of 2015. This video features the games that I had the most fun with and that I thought were the most innovative. As per usual, this video is entirely subjective. I'm a unique and beautiful YouTube snowflake, so please don't hurt my feelings in the comments. I'm just one dude with some opinions and a mic. That being said, let's start. Before I begin with the true list, I do need to give out some honorable mentions, and those are as follows. 1. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. 2. Downwell. 3. The Beginner's Game. And finally 4. Rocket League. Now, let's get on with it. Number 5. Ori and the Blind Forest. This game came out of nowhere and surprised me, and sadly it seems to have been forgotten by quite a lot of people. A Metroidvania-esque platformer with a beautiful hand-drawn aesthetic that blew my socks off, this game merges a heart-wrenching story that has characters full of personality and life with challenging platforming and puzzles to create an amazing experience. I loved my time with this game, and the beauty and personality of this game coupled with the surprisingly strong and challenging gameplay ensured that this game earned a spot in my top 5 for this year, as well as a spot in my heart. When it comes down to it, there is really simply no reason not to get this game. With a surprising amount of replayability and a world that absorbed me instantaneously, Ori and the Blind Forest was truly a joy to play. 4. Undertale. In a medium where open-world RPGs full of faceless minions that are promptly shot, stabbed, or otherwise done to death with nary a question as to the family they leave behind, Undertale is a breath of fresh air and a game that will undoubtedly go on to influence the industry as a whole in the future. Chock full of clever writing, incredible moments, and personable characters, Undertale drew inspiration from many classics such as Earthbound to create a truly unique experience that deserves at least 1 or 2 playthroughs. Although the fandom for this game might not encourage you to play it and it might not deserve absolutely all of the hype that's lately been built up around it, there's no doubt in my mind that Undertale deserves a spot in my top 5 games for being willing to reinvent the wheel and give personality to those minions that in so many other games would be left to the slaughter. There's not much to say about Undertale other than that you should play it because it's a game that will change gaming, and that is an experience that deserves to be had. 3. Pillars of Eternity. Although I didn't see this on too many top 5 or top 10 lists this year, my love of Tolkien-esque fantasy and D&D was enough to sell me on this wonderful RPG. A beautiful homage to Baldur's Gate among other classic RPGs, Pillars of Eternity gives you a truly unique experience in a year dominated by relatively dull games. Although this game requires a somewhat inordinate amount of time to play and is quite reading heavy, it takes you on a journey few other games do, namely one of your own. This world was alive before you entered it and will continue on whether or not you leave it. Pillars of Eternity expresses that in spades. With an incredibly deep lore, wonderfully fleshed out characters, an impressively inspired world that takes tried and true fantasy tropes for a unique spin, and a level of player impact that BioWare games pray to every night, Pillars of Eternity is a game that I won't be forgetting anytime soon. 2. Bloodborne. From Software games have always had a special place in my heart, with Dark Souls being one of my favorite games ever. Bloodborne's Lovecraftian aesthetic merged with bone-hard difficulty and a combat system that takes tried-and-true Souls players out of their comfort zone and puts them into one of action and speed both help distinguish it from other From Software games without losing any of the depth, both lore and gameplay-wise, that made the Souls game so memorable. Although its console exclusivity makes me want to cry because everyone deserves to experience it, Bloodborne is a game that's truly something great. It's unique, it's inspired, and it's a must-buy for anyone with a PlayStation 4. This game's brooding, morbid atmosphere that features a beautiful soundtrack, coupled with an incredible lore that only those most dedicated to watching body video will uncover, and incredible gameplay that takes Dark Souls for a speedier, and in my opinion, superior spin, ensure that Bloodborne lands at number 2 on this list. Number 1. The Witcher 3. Yes, I'm jumping on that bandwagon again, and with good reason. Having already admitted my fetish for fantasy RPGs, this should come as no surprise. With beautiful graphics, a wonderful story, and a world that has kept me invested for 2 and soon to be 3 playthroughs, I just can't get enough of The Witcher 3. It absolutely shits on the RPG norm that Skyrim and Dragon Age Inquisition inspired, i.e. those of a beautiful world with no depth. The Witcher 3 has not only a beautiful world, but beautiful characters and a beautiful amount of depth that make it something truly unique in the AAA AAA gaming space. Played this game and it's obvious just how much love went into it. Although the graphical downgrade was unfortunate and I wish it hadn't have happened, the game still looks absolutely beautiful. This game managed to do something that no other RPG of this magnitude has done. It interested me throughout the entirety of my playtime. Every character I met had a personality, every side quest made me invested. The world focuses on not oversized pauldrons, huge swords, and invincible heroes, but sensible armor and weapons, and more importantly, encasing in that armor characters full of life, depth, and significance. This game is both brutally human in its everything is shades of gray nature, and anything but, providing you with fantastical environments, creatures, and characters that both charm and disgust. The story is amazing, the graphics are brilliant, the aesthetic is absolutely beautiful, the lore is incredible. It's just all so good. The armor and weapon design is fantastic, bringing a real twist to fantasy. The world design is absolutely amazing. There's simply nothing that I disliked about this game. And now that I'm done jerking off all over it, it should be obvious why I consider The Witcher 3 to be the best game of 2015. But now I want to hear what you think. Which games did you like the most? What were your favorites? Tell me and I'll be happy to discuss. I'll also be happy to discuss why I didn't nominate certain games or why certain games aren't on this list. See ya!